obviously I need to be a part of the meeting, means because that recording and all will be going on. Okay, so but I'll just leave from here. But my laptop will be on. The charge is on. So I have to leave in 2 minutes. So Kate, you can just share your screen now, and you can start the session. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So okay, students, I'll be leaving. So Kate will take over. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, hi everyone. I'm Ketaki. I'm a third year engineering student, and I'm here to explain you guys. I'll start with GitHub first. So I'll share my screen, and my screen will be on throughout the session. If I'm not audible or if the screen stops being shared at any point, just let me know. So if somebody's new to Git, let me just introduce what Git does as a software. So Git is basically a version control system, as in it helps you track changes in your code. It can allow you to go back to previous versions of your code, and you can work safely without losing any of your files if you have Git enabled. So GitHub, which is a website where you can store your projects or save your projects, is completely different from Git. So Git is actually a tool that runs on your laptop, while GitHub is a platform which is on the internet. So Git works without GitHub as well, but GitHub makes it useful for backing up your project files or sharing projects or collaborating and showing your work to recruiters. You can also collaborate with others via GitHub. So they work in tandem. So first step of this process will be installing Git. If you guys haven't installed Git already, you can just download it from this website. It's called git-scm. I'll share the link in chat. Just a minute. So this is the official website of Git. Uh, you guys can download it from here. Here you can see install for Windows. So when you click on that, an exe file gets downloaded. So mine is x64 setup. So you can choose your download location. I can save it in my downloads. And if you need any help in downloading or the menu that like opens up after you click on that exe file, I also have a good YouTube video, but because Git installing Git is a long process compared to other softwares like VS Code, it requires a lot of the exe file installation steps are a lot. So I can share another YouTube video so you can adjust your settings according to that. Let me just share the link of the video. Yeah, this is the one. Okay. So you guys can follow along if it's possible. Otherwise, I can just continue and I'll come back to it afterwards if you have time. So usually while downloading and setting it up, it's just the default options. You can just click on next, 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 whatever they've enabled. If you find that they giving you an option for adding a desktop icon also, you can just click on that. The rest of the default settings are good as it is. So once the download is completed, you can just check the status of your download. You can click on Command R, type in CMD, and click on OK. The command prompt opens. So you just type Git, and you should see all of these instructions, which are basically Git instructions. You can also type in Git dash dash version to check the version of Git that's been installed on your computer. So after that's done, I think we'll start with GitHub. If you guys don't have a GitHub account, I think you can create one. Like the process is fairly short. So once you've created your GitHub account, this is where you store all your projects and your repositories. I'm just gonna minimize this. Okay, okay. So this will obviously not be as populated as you can see right now. If you have a new account, just set it up, and after you set it up, you'll see something like this. Now for our demonstration, I'll be creating a small repository. So you can do that by clicking on the menu here. Then you can click on the repositories. You can see the existing repositories that I have on my GitHub. But right now, if you are new to GitHub, you will not be able to see anything. You just click on a new repository. You type in the name. So, for example, Java demo repository. I don't need to type repository. Okay, fine. Java demo. We can add a description. It's optional. We can skip that. You can also choose a visibility. So if your repository is private, you and the contributors or collaborators that you adds to this repository are the only ones that will be able to access this and make changes in the files that are stored in this repo. Or you can make it public. So anyone on the internet can download or make changes or push changes to your repository. Add a README. So the README is basically a file that describes your repository. It's generally written in Markdown when you are typing it on your VS Code. This is optional again because you can add a README via VS Code and push it to the repository directly. So I'm going to leave it off. Add git ignore again. This can be done from VS Code, so I'm going to just leave it off. License is like an option if you're doing a bigger project. Then you can add a license like an MIT license or so. So I'm just going to click on create repository. So yeah, after you create a new repo, you can see this loading screen. So this is my new repo Java demo. You can add collaborators by clicking on invite collaborators. They will have access to your repository, even if it's private, if they accept the invite. And this code space is okay, it's fine. Okay. So these are the important commands. So you have HTTPS option or SSH. The SSH one learning that is slightly complicated. So I think let's explore the HTTPS option first. So there's also an option of uploading files right from your GitHub, right? So I can just upload my files from here. From I can also change the settings from here. I can do everything from GitHub. But the standard way or the easier way of uploading files to GitHub is via your VS Code. So all you need to do is link your local repository, your local folder to this repository, and you can do that by these three commands that are mentioned here. Right. Okay. So I'm just going to go to my VS Code and say I have a folder named Java here, right? So I'm gonna make and open a new terminal on my VS Code. If you're not aware of how to make it a terminal with this folder, I can just right click on the folder and click on Open in Integrated Terminal. So what this does is this automatically navigates to that file, the path basically of that folder, and it opens it up on my terminal. There's another way of doing that. You can click on the three dots at the top, navigate to terminal, and you can create new terminal, and then it will prompt you which folder do you want to create this terminal for. So you can click Java from here, but I've opened the terminal already, so I'm going to leave it like that. So now what we have to do is link this folder of mine, which is Java, which is two separate folders. I have arrays and I have basics, and there are files in it. So say I have to upload this entire folder to GitHub via VS Code. So I'm going to establish that connection from my local folder to my GitHub repository. So you can see this files here. I'm just going to close it. Okay. So you can see these files in the array folder and the basics folder. They'll all go to that repository now. So all I have to do is, so first command that comes is the git init command. So what this does is, this tells our Git, our software, that start tracking this folder called Java. So this folder will be a part of version control now. So when I click on git init, so this basically means that I had already ran this command before. So it's saying reinitialize existing Git repository. But if you're doing it for the first time, this won't be the command that appears to you, the message that appears to you. You'll see that initialize a Git repository in the path name. Okay, so this is the first command that establishes Git inside the existence of Git inside your folder. You can also verify by clicking on reveal in file explorer for that file. So you'll see a .git folder. Okay, so I'm going to click on Java. You'll see a .git folder. Usually this folder is hidden. So for you to see this folder, you're going to want to enable hidden files. So there is an option here. So there's an option here which says show hidden files. Uh, just a minute. Huh. So you'll see show and show hidden items, right? So if this is enabled, then and only then you'll be able to see that .git folder. If you can't see that Git folder, it doesn't mean that Git has not been initialized. It just means that you have to enable this show hidden items part in this terminal or file explorer. Okay, so I'm going to shut it because the .git folder is already here. So that means that I have initialized Git successfully. So the next command that you usually run is git status. So what this shows is what files have changed. We have not made any changes right now. So there's nothing to be seen here. On branch master, for you guys, it might also show on branch main. It's because while downloading Git, I asked Git to name my branches. So its default name is master, but generally we like to name it main, right? So when you're setting up Git, make sure to not choose that option where Git names your branches. You can choose one. I'll name my own branches option in the git setup exe file help box. Okay, so this is just basic. You can use this command anywhere, anytime to check what changes have been committed or tracked. Okay, I'll explain that later. So this basically git status shows what files have changed or what git is aware of. Then I'm going to start with another main step, that is git add. Okay, this command is used to tell git that I want to include these changes in the next save point. So basically, git add does not save the code, it just prepares it. Prepares means staging of files. So what this does is git add stages files. So when I type in git add, I can add either a file name, like say accept.java. That means that means this file is going to be included in the git add command. But if I don't want just one or two specific files, I can just type in git add dot. What this does is dot means all the files, all the present files and folders in that present repository will be staged. So I'm gonna type in git add dot. So after this is done, the code hasn't been saved yet. It's just been prepared for tracking, or you can say staged. Okay, then comes git commit. So git commit dash n initial commit. Okay, but before I move to commit, I forgot because I thought the file repo was linked. So before I click on type in commit, I'll explain what commit does. Commit is basically a checkpoint. You're saying this version of my code is stable. I'd like to save this version of my code and I'd like to push it to my repository. Okay, why not? I'll just type it out and I can explain the linking later on. Initial. Okay, so dash M and the message. So this is the basic syntax of a git commit statement. You can add anything like my first commit, initial commit, or usually commits are more detailed. The more detailed the commit is, the better it is while you're collaborating with more people. So you know what you're pushing, where you're pushing, and what's been changed in the code. Because while you're doing your personal projects, obviously you are the one who's doing all the changes. So you know what's happening and what changes you've made. But when you're working in a team, these commit messages are very important because it lets the other person know what's been changed, what's happening. And then, based on who owns the repository or who owns the source code, they can choose whether to accept or decline the changes that you're trying to push. And generally, when you're working in teams, you never push to main. You create a branch and then you push to that branch. But we're sticking to personal collaborations, not group collaborations right now in this lesson. So I'll just explain what these basic commands do. So commit is basically again a checkpoint. You're saying that this version of my code is stable and I would like to take it further. So I'm just going to click on git commit. Okay. So now this doesn't make any sense if we haven't linked our local folder to our repository. So first thing that you need to do is you need to check if my repository already has a remote origin. What I mean by remote origin is basically if you see this, git remote add origin. This is the command that links your local folder to your GitHub repository. So this is very important. And if you already have an existing remote or already have an existing connection, then it should show up in git remote dash v. This command tells you if your folder is linked to an already existing repository. This is important because one folder needs to be linked to one repo for the purpose of clean code and ease to push files. So I'm going to I'm going to press get remote dash v and press enter. Okay, so I couldn't see anything. That means that my folder isn't linked yet. So whatever this command is, I'm going to just copy paste. Instead of that, you can also learn it. It's pretty simple. Get remote add origin, and then it's followed by the link. You can either use this link, or if you when you add files, this screen goes away, right? So if you struggle to find it, there'll be a green code button here. I'll show it to you later. So you can copy code from that link, or this link is also available, HTTPS. Make sure you're on the HTTPS section though. Don't use the SSH link. That is a different linking process. So I'm just going to copy this and I'm going to paste this. Get remote add origin and the link's name. So I'm going to press enter. So now a remote origin has been set up, or my local folder has been linked to my GitHub repository. So I can just check again by running get remote dash v. See, now I can see that in my terminal, I can see the links, origin, link name, fetch and push. So this means that my folder has been linked with that repository that I had created. Okay, so just a quick tip for people who are using GitHub terminal or terminal in general. So if you want to repeat the same commands, you can just press on the up key, up arrow key. The same commands repeat. Okay, so you don't have to type the whole thing again. And the bottom arrow key also works if you have retract one of your commands. But right now the up arrow key also works. Okay, so now that I've set up my remote origin, now I need to push this folder to my GitHub. So how I can do this is, see, the last add dot and the commit will work a bit better because I will be able to show you how it works, because we'll be pushing it afterwards. So suppose I made some kind of change. Say I click on enter. Okay, this is the read and it is. Okay. So I'm gonna type in get add dot. I'm gonna type get commit dash m. Again, I'm going to do the same. I'm going to second commit. Commit. Okay. Okay. Now I'm gonna and for the first time you push to the repository, this is the command get push dash u origin main. So for this basically means that whatever files that are committed, all those files need to be pushed to my repository that I've linked this folder to. So dash u basically is just like for upstream. So this is the this command will be used the first time you push. Then on, after you've made one push, you can just use git push and it will work. For the first time, I have to type git push dash u origin main. So now they've given dash u origin main because here the the main branch is named main. But in my local repo, my main branch is named master. For you guys also, maybe it might be named master or it might be named main. Based on that, you have to modify or you happens is my type branch name is not called main. My branch name is called master. So I'm going to type in master. I'm going to press enter. So it'll take some time. Just give it a try. Okay. Yeah. So now what has happened is I've pushed all my folders and the files that are present in my root folder and the subfolders to my repository. To see the changes, I'll just refresh this page. Right. So you can see that the folders that I had with me locally, my arrays folder and my basics folder, which were in the root folder called Java, those folders I can see here. And when I click on a folder, I can also see the files that were present with me locally. So you can just open a file and you can also edit files from here, by the way. Okay, just a minute, it's loading. Okay, I can download it from it. It's because it's a class file. Wait, let me just open the Java file. Huh. So you can see I can also edit things from here, but it's generally not recommended to do it from here because it will be better if we push changes from our VS Code itself. So now that you see that we've successfully pushed, you can also see there's some icons that are appearing near to the files. These are all a part of source control and version control. So I'm just gonna make some changes in say my arithmetic.java file. So I'm gonna add a comment saying Okay, so this is the version that Copilot's giving me. This is a comment. And you can see a green line that's being shown here. So this basically means this is saying see added lines. This is because now my tracking has been set up, and every time I make a change in my file that is not present in my GitHub repo or the file that I've uploaded to my GitHub repo, there'll be some sort of changes that will be seen in my VS Code. It'll tell me that, hey, you have some changes that you've made, but you've not pushed it to the main branch. So I'll add a few comments so that it's visible. Okay. Okay, okay. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to push this particular file because this is the only file that was changed. So I'm going to do git add. So this is in the basics folder, right? Basics slash arithmetic dot Java. Okay. So now this is, as I said, if I added git add dot, that won't be wrong necessarily, but again, I've not made changes in any other files. So it's more practical to just write the one file's name. So git add basic slash arithmetic.java, git commit dash m. So now I'm going to make a specific commit message. I'll say added comments to arithmetic.java. Okay. Okay. I misspelled commit. Uh, Okay. So git push. So now that I had done git push dash u origin main, that means I had already made one push to my repo. From now on, I don't need to type the entire thing. I can just go with git push and it will work just as fine. So I'm just going to go ahead with git push. And now you can see the changes have been pushed. Now, the best way is you guys seeing this from GitHub. Okay. So I'm going to go to that folder, basic. Okay. Basic arithmetic.java. So you see, you can see the commit message here. Added comments to arithmetic.java, and now the timestamp is also visible. So if you click on the file, you can also see the new comments that we've added. Okay, about merge conflicts, I think merge conflicts is a topic that needs to be separately, you need to have multiple versions of how to handle it, or multiple versions of the type of conflicts that can occur while you're collaborating. So this is very sensitive and it needs to be handled well. And when you're working in teams, it happens a lot that your version of the code might conflict with the version that's already present in the repo. So they're not scary, but they can be handled both via the GitHub CLI as well as in the VS Code. Also, you have a command, a merge conflict editor, right? So you have a source control editor here, and you can check this out also when you're working in teams. Okay. So these were the main commands that you can use to link your repo to your local folder. But apart from this, there are also a few important commands. So when you're like doing some sort of open source contribution, or if say you like some project, for example, I'll check some project out. Okay, I'll also explain a few things that you can do from GitHub. You can also start people's repository if you like a certain repository, or if you want to clone it. I'll show you how you can do that. Okay, I'll just public clone one of mine only. Okay, so this is a repository that doesn't have much. It just has a few PNG files, PDFs, and stuff. This is a hackathon repository. So I'm gonna share this. If you have time, you can also try this out. Okay, not this thing though, but okay. So say this is not my repository, it's anybody's, but it has to be public though. So when you're cloning a repository, what you're essentially doing is all the files and folders that are uploaded by that user to GitHub, you're making a copy of that and you're storing it on your local device. So either you can see this code, green code button was the one that I was talking about. So you can also copy the link of the repository from here. If it's not visible to you, if you're not able to locate it, this is the link, not the link above or so on, because this can cause error, the one that the search bar. So you can also download a zip file directly from here. But the easier way to do this is using the git clone command. So I'm going to go on my terminal. Also, by the way, all of this can be done in your Windows terminal also. But the more convenient way of doing this is via the VS Code terminal. So I'm explaining it via this. Cd dot dot is a command to navigate to the root folder. So if I'm on D drive, desktop Java, if I press cd dot dot, I'm going to go to desktop. I'm going to exit the current repository and go to its home repository. So desktop. Now I'm going to type in git clone and I'm going to paste that link. So this is a very effective command in general because you can clone anybody's public repository when you do that, and you can make changes, and you can also push these changes to that public repository. But again, you'll have to make a branch and push it, and you for that you have to open up a pull request, and this is how open source stuff is done. But in general, if you're even interested about a repository, you can also download the zip file or you can clone it. So if I type in git clone and paste the link there ahead, so you can see that that file will be folder will be cloned on my local PC. I can show. Okay. So also you can also add folders here. You can do file, add folder to workspace, and you can add more and more folders to your VS Code terminal. That's how I can see so many folders over here. Okay, so now it's cloned. Now I'll be able to add that folder because it's been cloned. Right. So I cloned it on desktop, and now you can see Mindra Hacker Ramp, that folder that I cloned. It's present in my desktop. Um, so yeah, yes, I test. So all the files that were present publicly on GitHub now I clone and I can see it on my PC. So this green stuff that you see, green, yellow, and everything, that is all a part of Git's version tracking system. So MU, untracked files, modified files, all of that are terminologies. You needn't be scared about that. All of that does happen and does appear once you start tracking. And it also tells you which files have been committed or are like staged. And based on that, you can push your newer versions of code to GitHub. Okay, so this was the basics about GitHub. Also, like one more thing, in general, while you are making your personal projects, it'll happen that you make say a static website. So for static websites, deployment is very common, and you would want to deploy a lot of your projects. So I'm going to tell you in short how you can deploy. So, for example, I had made a static website using HTML, CSS, JavaScript. This is a game essentially, but it's only made of HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, right? So I pushed all of that using the steps I told you, and now I had to make it live, right? So I can click on the link and users should be able to play. So how do you achieve that? So once you've pushed your code to GitHub, what you need to do is go on settings. Once you go on settings, you can see an option called pages in the left side in the menu. Okay, so here you can see a GitHub pages screen opens up. Okay, so this is already present because I've deployed this already. But for you, it might be set to none. Okay, none, and this option might be enabled. So you have to select branch master and you have to click on save. So once you click on save, give it around 3 minutes and refresh your page. Once you refresh your page, you'll see a small dialog box like your site is live at HTTPS. This is the link that will be provided. So now you can see I've opened the incognito window so that in my browser cookies don't auto load the site for me. So see, this is the deployment link of your project. So anybody sitting anywhere can open your static site, and GitHub provides you deployment facility for static websites made of anything. It should just be static and it should not have a backend. Even if it does have a backend, we can also link it to render. But for beginners, I think static websites, the support that GitHub provides for static websites is fairly clean and simple and easy to use. So the pages option, and there you can click deploy. And this is a small game that I made. You shut it. Okay. So that was about deployment. Something else. Yeah, you can view others' repositories by clicking on feed. You can explore what people are doing or what people are posting about. And this is a great tool to collaborate as well. If you work in projects or hackathons, if you know a bit about GitHub, the process becomes very easy. Right. So, are there any questions about GitHub or anything that you would like to ask? Just unmute and you can ask. No problem. Okay. Okay. I'll just add one more thing. I'll just realize. Let me say, branching is also a very important part when you're committing code. Main branch is our central branch wherein all changes will be pushed to at the end. But you also have commands called git branch or git checkout and the branch name. So when you're working on in a group setting, that those kind of making branches and committing code there helps a lot. But since it's a basic session, I'm not going to dive deep into making branch or committing to or work in collaboration with other people in groups. So this is the basic process: setting up GitHub, linking your files, linking your repo to your files. That was the basic stuff. I think I was I clear. Like, do you guys have any doubts? If you have any doubts, just let me know, please. Okay, okay, fair. So since nobody has any doubts, I think we can move on to some points about LinkedIn that I would like to add. Even I'm a student, so I'm learning alongside. I'm learning from other people on how to improve the way my profile looks. I'm also constantly learning, so I don't know a lot about this, but the all the stuff that I know, I'm going to share with you guys. So the main thing about LinkedIn is your appearance. You should have a professional looking image as the profile picture. You can have a header, it's optional though. So that's the main thing that will help you get noticed. Another thing is sections, sections. So if I click on add profile section, you can see there are a few options mentioned here: add education, add position. So if you're employed as an intern anywhere, or if you've worked uh, for a considerable amount of time in a company, or even a short while, you can add position, add education. All these are recommended, or these are core features, sorry. So if you have something to add, please do, because it does help you get noticed when recruiters are searching for a specific skill or a specific work experience type. So sometimes while they're searching that in the search bar, for example, LinkedIn, your name might pop up in the first few entries or results. So that does help a lot, because LinkedIn essentially works like a search engine, right? Then word match. So if I type in, say, Python or C++ or a front end web developer intern at, say, XYZ company, so if they're filtering by that company name or that specific job description or by a specific skill, your name might be the one that pops up in the top 10 entries or so. So the more information that you put out on LinkedIn, the better it is for you to get noticed. Like, you'll get more opportunities, or be contacted by recruiters even more. So opportunity wise, it is very, very beneficial that you have a good and updated LinkedIn profile. So recommended. For recommended, I think I'd just like to highlight one thing. Licenses and certifications is good. And if you have done any specific certification, it's very good. But I'd also like to emphasize the importance of featured section. So featured section is actually essentially the first part, uh, like that's seen on your profile. So I'm going to just open this. Wait, I'm just going to open the profile again. Okay, so if you see, once I click on my profile and I scroll a bit downwards, you can see an about section and you can see the featured section directly. So featured section is essentially the things that for you are your best part of your work portfolio. So, for example, I made a website, a live website for my parents' clinic. So I think that's live currently. So I really value it as one of my good or like projects that can help me get my recruiters' eyes. Right. So what I've done is I've added it to my featured section. So featured section is your selection, your select best projects that you would like to showcase on your portfolio or on your website. The first thing that a recruiter sees is your about section and your featured section. So make sure the best of the best, all the best things that you've done. So it could be an award or a trophy that you've won. All of that should go in the featured section. So you can add a link, add media. So say you won an award. So you can add that media, add a picture or add a link, article, post, anything. This featured section is very important, and so is the about section. So about section, as in who are you? Who's your identity? So I have just generated this from an AI. So you can either get it generated from an AI or you can write it on your own. That's completely fine. All it should tell you is that it should be authentic sounding, but it should also it can be basically your career wrapped in a text box. So you can tell about your passions, you can tell about what you've done, who you are, what sort of jobs would you like to seek, and what should recruiters expect or hope from you when they hire you for a job. So all of that, it should be short, but it should be very catchy, and people should read about this and take an active or keen interest in you. So about section and featured section is very important, and so is the post section. But I would say more than posting, if you feel like, hey, I have nothing to post, what should I talk about? Even connections are important. So you connect to the right people, you follow the right people. So what happens is once you have a good network, you start getting more opportunities, or you start to notice what people are doing right, or what people are working on. You get inspired. But at the same time, it's very important not to get overwhelmed by what other people are doing. Sometimes I've noticed people, oh, ye kar raha hai, ye to wo kar raha hai. So, you can feel a bit demotivated by this. You should never look at it like that. You should look at it as inspiration. Personally, I also मेरे को भी बहुत I used to see कि यार ये तो बहुत ज्यादा कर रहा है hackathon में part ले रहा है. It's a bit it makes you feel like, hey, what are you doing with your life? But don't take it like that. Connect with people, follow other people, follow people that provide internship or job opportunities. Be on track, stay on track on LinkedIn, and you'll explore many connections that are very beneficial for you in the future. So not just connections, I think commenting also helps a lot. Commenting on other people's posts helps you to get noticed. For example, if I click on home, I see a lot of posts about what's trending, right? So I can say, oh wow, that's a great share, or I can repost some of the posts, or I can talk about my personal journey. I can talk anything. If I have nothing to post now, I think comments help a lot. They help you get noticed. And reactions too. They help you find better friends that are more in your circle and aligned to what you're doing currently. So, for example, he's sharing something that is done. So I've completed my 6 month internship. That's a great share, right? So I can just, if I don't know that person that well, I'm just gonna throw in a reaction. It's very important that you react to other people's posts. Obviously, if you don't know the person, it's fine. But if that's somebody that is influential or that can help you, or you can DM him or text him later on about an open opportunity that they might be having in their business, it's great to connect. So cold DMing on LinkedIn also works. What that means is once you establish a connection or you connect with somebody. So for example, he's not my connection, I think. So I can just click on connect and I can send him a connection message. Ki, hey, I read about this post that you shared on LinkedIn. I really liked it and I feel inspired and I would love to connect with you. So if he accepts that request, then we are free to and we are open and we can message them directly. So messaging in general works like if I'm really like, for example, there is a company called EA Games that made The Sims, right? So that company really interests me, and I would love to know more about that company. So I'm going to like look for any people, any person that actually works at EA. So for example, I'm going to search EA Games, EA Sports. I think the company is called EA Sports. Yeah, see, EA Sports. So I'm going to search for EA Sports and I'm going to see options like people, companies, sports jobs. So if I want a certain job, I'm going to click on EA Sports jobs. So it'll be basically a list of jobs that EA is offering. But currently, I think there are no open jobs at EA. So they're showing suggested or related jobs, right? So if I click on EA Sports, I'm gonna go to people. Okay, so I'll see a lot of people who have worked at EA. See, you can see EA here, and you can click on connect. This is the best way that you can explore and expand your connections. And another important aspect of LinkedIn is the job opportunities. While I have personally received this feedback, that a lot of people struggle from getting jobs on LinkedIn, but it's never it's not a bad thing to try, right? So even if you don't get you know um, communication from their side, you can keep trying. You can be active on LinkedIn. It's best to keep yourself active and engaged in these kind of opportunities. The best thing that you can do, see, if I search for front end developer front end developer intern. So I'm going to search for that in the jobs category. So I'm going to see a list of open jobs that for this position. I can see a lot of companies here, and I can click on get job alerts. So this was already on, so I'm just going to show you. What this will do is they will send you an email which is linked to your account. On that email ID, you'll get emails related to every job opening that's related to front end developer interns. So that will keep you on your toes. Although job applications on LinkedIn, I've never really heard like a positive, like, hey, I got hired by LinkedIn. But there are some cases wherein LinkedIn hiring has helped people a lot. So it's best to keep trying, never give lose hope. I have applied to a lot of companies from LinkedIn, but I feel um, this is more more sort of far fetched. But I've seen people get jobs as well. But you should keep trying. You should keep applying via LinkedIn. But also there are other sites where you can get jobs, the Telegram groups, WhatsApp chats, WhatsApp channels that you can join. Yeah, and Easy Apply is another feature of LinkedIn that is very impressive. They send your entire LinkedIn profile over there. So, for example, if I click on Easy Apply, all of these fields are auto-filled for you. You just have to add a few features like phone name, and then they ask you to upload your resume and so on. You can directly now upload your resume on LinkedIn, and you can select which one you want. You can upload multiple versions or copies. So I can click on next. And all of this is pre-filled for you because of your LinkedIn profile. Because you have kept it updated, LinkedIn allows you that easy apply option where you don't have to do a lot of stuff that, applying for interviews or, sorry, internships is really can be irritating at times. But LinkedIn apply helps you a lot because all of these fields are auto-filled for you. You just have to click on next, and then apply. See, some questions that you want, specific questions that they'll ask, the company asks, you'll have to answer, and then you can click on review and submit. I'm not going to apply right now. So, okay. So this was the basics about LinkedIn profile building. Uh, Applying for jobs, even if it does not yield results in LinkedIn, I think you should just keep applying. You know, you can never guess which opportunity you might get via LinkedIn. So it's great. And networking again, my network shows you the if you've gotten any requests. I think I've gotten to know you guys only. Okay, okay. So I'm just gonna accept these. So you can just accept these from here. You can subscribe to some newsletters or any digests that you're interested in. Any other sections I think I want to share is okay, let me just see. The project section also is very important because at times when you're applying for jobs now, they ask you to share your LinkedIn profile. So when you share your profile, if it's not up to date, then what's the use? Because these people are going to click on your profile and they're going to want to see an active profile. So what happens is essentially people delay posting on LinkedIn. They're like, यार अभी कंपनी आएगी तो उस टाइम पे मैं जितने सारे प्रोजेक्ट्स हैं वो सारे अपलोड कर दूंगा LinkedIn पे and then I'll share the link. Then so that's done. What happens is this is something that a friend told me. So what recruiters do is basically they check the dates that you're posting these stuffs on LinkedIn on. So if I'm a recruiter and I'm viewing a candidate's profile and I see like 10 projects uploaded on the same day, like say 6th of Jan. So the recruiter gets a feeling that hey, this is not prepared. No, he's just because a company is coming to my college, I'm gonna have to update everything. So I'm gonna like do 10 GitHub contributions on the same day so that my graph appears greener. And I'm gonna post all the stuff on LinkedIn today itself because I want to show them a good profile. What matters to them is consistency and discipline when it comes to your profile building or even GitHub contributions. So even if you're uploading or even contributing say even a comment, that's fine on GitHub. If you're commenting or adding a readme, it doesn't matter. All it matters is you keep your progress consistent. So if you're uploading or posting to LinkedIn, just make sure that your projects are spaced out. They're not like you're not posting about 10 projects on the same day. Space it out so that companies can also see the date. For example, I can see 2 months ago I made this project, or 3 months ago I posted about some achievement. So earlier I did not know that, and I did the same thing But then I realized that this might make me look like somebody who does things like hastily whenever an opportunity comes. I realize that यार ये भी तो करना है सब डाल दिया इसकी जगह पे you just post it in equal intervals or gaps, and it also increases the amount of visibility that you have on every post. So for example, if I post about 10 projects on the same day, my individual posts might get lesser likes. But if I post about one project that I've done and I space it out, after 7 days I post about the next project, the amount of engagement that I'm going to get on my post is slightly higher. Why engagement matters on LinkedIn is it also increases your chances to get connection requests by people that are not in your circle. So, for example, a front end developer at a company might notice what I've done because they're connected to somebody that I know. So, it's a third level connection, right? So, this happens, these chances exceed your expectations sometimes. And this happens because of the engagement that you get. A friend to friend will notice what you're doing, but only thing is that you should get that amount of engagement back on your social posts on LinkedIn. So that's why space your posts out on LinkedIn. Don't do everything hastily. You can add your education. If you don't have a good score in a 12th and 10th, it doesn't really matter. Just don't add it. Like I haven't added it. So I can add it, but I just don't want to because I'd rather people focus on my current education. But you can definitely add it if it's impressive. Like if you've gotten like good marks, just add it. Licenses and certifications again a very important section, and skills again a very important section. Skills is the one section that filters you out when recruiters are looking for jobs. As I said, like I can just search for C++ and the recruiter will see some names like who have done projects based on those skills or who have added those skills to their LinkedIn profiles. So add skills. Languages also, if you're fluent in any foreign language, just add it here. That also helps, especially for jobs who require foreign language. Interests again, you can follow a lot of people, you can connect with a lot of people, newsletters, and so on. Right. So follow the right people, and I think LinkedIn is all about connecting and boosting your network. And also, if you are serious about job searching and all, people do encourage buying premium from LinkedIn. So you can click on this, add, enhance your profile, and stand out. This is not usually not for first year or second year students, but when you're in your fourth year and you want to cold DM a lot of startup founders or recruiters, then usually what premium allows you to do is you are allowed to DM or direct message any person any person on LinkedIn. For example, if I am you, I don't have a premium account right now. So if I click on any profile right now that I'm not connected to, I can't DM them without them accepting my connection request. But if I have premium, I can direct message anybody I want. So that's the advantage of premium over others. And that's why people who are in their fourth years or who are actively looking for opportunities, they usually buy premium and so that they can cold DM like, hey, Mr. Dash Dash, I noticed your website. I noticed your business. I really like it. And here's my portfolio. Here's my resume. I would like your job. I would like a job at this position at this company, at your company. Sorry. Do consider me. And, there's a particular format that they write the DMs in, and they can send the DMs directly. So that's a part of premium, I think. So premium is generally used for that. So if you're very serious and you really want to approach a certain particular person, but you're not able to because of them not accepting your connection request, premium does help you with that. So following and connecting, that's the main thing on LinkedIn. Jobs is also again a very good important feature of LinkedIn. But if you don't get a reward back from that company, it's completely fine because LinkedIn is notoriously known for this kind of stuff. But you can keep applying on LinkedIn. It's never wrong to keep applying. And yeah, that's it. I think LinkedIn profile building. I think I've covered everything. Yeah, and your projects also. I think you can add your projects here. I haven't added any project in general, but I've posted about projects. I've added public links. Like I said, the GitHub pages that enables you to do that. So I've added links here. You can click on the link and that will redirect you to my project here. So if you also want to upload your entire project and a description, you can do that by add profile section, add projects, and you can add a title and description. That is also possible, but I haven't done it personally, but it's a great move because a lot of people add projects and they're recognized by this. I've done like if I've done 7, 8 projects, I can just add one by one. It's a long process, but it again helps you get noticed. So these skills are also very important because the skills that you're using for individual projects are also the ones that are shown up in a profile search that is done on LinkedIn. So yeah, you can add projects also with this. And if I miss anything, just let me go through it again. Okay, add publications, patents, and all. You can explore that. If you've done anything, please feel free and make sure that you add it because it does get noticed a lot. Okay, so that's it. I think that was all about LinkedIn. It's your it's your professional identity. So I think it's best if you keep it updated. And yeah, and about section के बारे में, I'll just add one more thing. Also, try to make it in the form of a story, like who are you, what you're learning, what you're looking for. Just don't make it like very bland or boring or basic. So, for example, I'm looking for this. Just try to weave it in a story, or you can even ask AI to do that for you. It's very as long as it doesn't sound very robotic, it's fine. So project section is also very important. Skills is important. Activity, networking. Follow your seniors, your alumni. The alumni, if you follow your alumni or if you even mention your college's name, what happens is when you see a company or a job posting, you see +2 alum work at this institute. It means that you have alumni from your college that have worked in this institute before. So I think you saw it before. Yeah. See, one connection works here. So you can also see alumni from, as I'm from MIT, I think I'll see like 2 alumni work here or 3 alumni work here. And you can directly click on that and you can direct message that alumni of yours. It's it's a higher chance of your alumni accepting your request, connection request. Because see, if you DM a founder or somebody that has so many connections and so many DMs and so many connection requests, it's like, oh my god, किसको करूं किसको नहीं करूं. तो इट्स बेटर कि आपके सीनियर को आप ये कनेक्शन रिक्वेस्ट भेजो एंड उनके एक्सेप्ट करने के बाद you approach him like, hey, मतलब आप उस कंपनी में काम कर रहे हो, I also would like to join there as an intern or something. You can reach out to that company via this alumni of yours or your connection if you know them personally, and they can maybe help you out with a referral. Referrals really work wonders when it comes to job opportunities. So I think alumni, tech creators, or seniors who can follow and comment on their posts actively so that they also notice कि यार ये बंदा interested है and this person is, if he's showing interest in me, I'd accept his connection request. He seems sincere or she seems sincere, and then they can give you a referral for their company. एंड रेफरेंस इज लाइक जो काम 10 स्टेप्स में हो रहा है आपको 4-5 स्टेप्स वही करके दे रहे हैं. So referrals also work as shortcuts to job applications or recruitments. So I think it's very important and it also very helpful. Half the steps are getting reduced. You might get one test lesser or whatever depending on the company policy. So when you're connecting with people, I think connecting with alumni or connecting with people is the easiest. But if you establish a good bonding with somebody that gets 1,000 connection requests by commenting and liking on liking their posts, I think they can accept it too. And cold DMing them directly is also an option. For referrals, try to get to your connections or your alumni when you are DMing them. And while you're writing a DM, also make sure ki why this company, why highlight your skills. Even if it feels like boasting, I think it's very important that you highlight your skills so that they know that you're confident in what you do. And then it's a higher chance that you get a referral that way. So yeah, I'm also learning this whole process. I just shared whatever I know, and if I feel ki, if you guys also feel ki maybe this approach iski jagah pe koi aur chalega, it's definitely true because if I'm a student, so I'm also learning a lot of stuff here. So you can also explore a few videos on GitHub. I'll also share the one video that I learned GitHub from. Um, so it's easier for you guys also. Okay, I'll share the video. No, not free code time. I think I'll share a shorter version. Okay, I learned it from Super Simple Dev. So I'll just share this link. Uh, I think he has two parts of this GitHub, so you can check this out as well. He explains it in a very simple way. And if any of you guys have Mac, I think the commands slightly differ for a Mac, and the setup instructions can differ as well. So make sure that when you are installing or setting it up, it's different for different systems. So if you get any kind of error message also, it's completely fine. पहले पहले में होता है. You can either DM me also, or you can check it out on AI also, because AI also in these times helps you a lot, because instructions differ a lot for Windows, Mac, and Unix or Linux systems. So yeah, I think that was it from my side. Are there any questions that you would like to ask? Anything else that you would like me to explain or take? I think 7 already, so we've exhausted our time. Nothing. Okay, I just let's. Okay, huh?
Didi,
Yes.
just can you tell us what we can do for resume?
Okay, for resume, I'll just share a website. Okay, I'll just go on that website. I think this will be very helpful for you. Okay, there's a website called, sorry, not Flow CV, Flow CV. Okay, there's a website called Flow CV wherein you can design your own resume. This is probably the best website after OpenCV. I think OpenCV is when you have established a lot of things in your career, and because it's a bit more complicated to use. So it's based on code-based system. So you can make or craft your own resume via code, but Flow CV is slightly more for beginners. Like I use Flow CV personally, but a lot of people who have recommended me Open CV too. But Open CV I found it a bit complicated. So I have a resume made. I'll show you how the non wait, let me just log in via a distant account, because this is made. The fields are a bit different. They look a bit different. Okay, so this is the website. I'll share the link, flowcv.com, in the chat. This is very easy to use actually. And if you look at YouTube tutorials for this, then they will also guide you on how to make resumes. Since we are out of time, I would have explained, but maybe another session we can do for resume building. But I'm also learning it myself. So I'm just gonna show you a short description on how you can go about this. Okay, so I've made one resume. This was a very old resume of mine. If you can see, it's really unorganized. And compare it to this version of mine, which is the latest version. So this is slightly more what you can say compact. Yeah, compact, slightly more compact. There's a lot of free space. The main thing about when you design a resume is the way you structure things, right? So if I have a lot of skills, but I don't have enough projects to showcase, I want to probably highlight my skills more. So this was a point in my life where this is the old one. Okay. So there was a point in my life when I had no projects, right? So instead of having a project section, I had certifications, or I had skills, I had education, I had achievements. And if you have a lot of stuff to showcase now, just try to shorten it and make it one page. So when you're applying for any kind of opportunity as a student, I think they prefer if you have one page resume or compared to two. Two बहुत ज़्यादा हो जाता है. I think one is essential, is the best, with respect to freshers or young people who are applying. Do you want to know specifically something like some part about how to structure it, or would you like to know how to make a resume?
Yes, actually, how to structure it?
Okay. So I think I can share this. There are a few sections. Summary section important तब होता है जब आप बहुत सारे अलग-अलग fields को apply कर रहे हो. So for example, I'm applying for a back-end engineer, maybe a front-end engineer. So what happens is, if the company is looking for certain specific skills that you're not aware of, you would want to make the company know कि यार मेरे को ये पता नहीं है, but I'm a quick learner, I'm a fast learner. सो आई कैन लर्न इट इन नो टाइम. मतलब आप अपने आप को ऐसे तो नहीं पोर्ट्रे करना चाहिए कि मेरे पास स्किल नहीं है, मैं कर नहीं सकता. सो क्योंकि मेरे स्किल में, इफ दे वांट से जावा और गोलैंग, आई डोंट नो जावा और गोलैंग, मेरे स्किल्स में वो दिखेगा नहीं. बट आई कैन स्ट्रक्चर माई समरी इन दैट वे कि यार आई एम अ फास्ट लर्नर, आई एम अ गुड लर्नर, आई ट्राई टू अडाप्ट टू सिचुएशंस, तो मेरा समरी ना उसके हिसाब से बदलेगा. सो वेन एवर यू आर अप्लाइंग टू एनी काइंड ऑफ कंपनी विद, डोंट नेवर अप्लाई विद द सेम रेज्यूमे. ओके, वो कंपनी का जेडी पढ़ो. जेडी मतलब जॉब डिस्क्रिप्शन. तो अगर उनको ये चाहिए, मतलब एक कोई स्पेसिफिक स्किल चाहिए, तो आप उस स्किल को उसमें ट्राई करो. आपको पता होगा तो यू लिस्ट इट इन दैट स्किल सेक्शन, बट नेवर लाई. अगर आपको नहीं पता, इट्स बेटर टू नॉट लाई, बिकॉज द थिंग इज व्हेन दे कॉल यू फॉर एन इंटरव्यू नो, एंड आपने स्किल्स में लिखा है, so they will 100% question you कि what do you know about this, or what can you tell me about this. So instead of adding it to the skill section, just say I'm an adaptable learner, I'm a quick learner, I'm adaptable, and I enjoy the process of learning, collaborating, and I'm eager to learn and develop. तो उससे हमको पता चल जाता है कि even if he doesn't know these skills, he can definitely learn. So summary education are very important, but summaries are an optional. So it's not very necessary. So if you're falling short of space because you have a lot of skills or projects to list, you can just skip this section. But रखना है तो you can. So summary है, education है. Skills में you can, if you have a lot of skills of different fields, like front end के कुछ है, back end के कुछ है, AIML के कुछ है. So you can have categories and you can list the skills according to the categories, or you can even make bullet points for the skills. It's completely fine. यहाँ पे ना on flow CV you have this section skills, जहाँ पे आप you can frame your own skills. यहाँ पे ऐसे तो मेरे बहुत सारे चेंजिंग थे. अभी अगर मुझे आई हैव टू अप्लाई टू a company that's more focused on front end, I'd probably, I'm just giving an example. I just hide this and I'll enable this. So I have enabled multiple options of my skills. So if I'm applying for, say, a front end role, I probably highlight the skills that I have with respect to my front end. तो वो नहीं कहना चाहेंगे कि मैं बैक एंड पे आई कैन डू एसक्यूएल और आई कैन डू मोंगो डीबी. वो भी अच्छा है, मतलब ऐसा नहीं है कि आपको लिस्ट नहीं करना चाहिए, but I think they would want to know about my front end skills or my, say, AWS skills or GCP skills more. So I'd like to highlight that more. So having multiple versions of the same is possible in Flow CV. This site is very good for that. So after that, I have my experience. So if you've worked as an intern somewhere, or if you've worked as an employee somewhere, you can add that there, or any kind of startup or anything you can list it here. If you have no experience or if you're a fresher, just leave this. Don't add this section. You can just delete it. Project section is again important. यहाँ पे मैंने ज्यादा डाला एक्चुअली अप्लाई करने के टाइम पे ना. आई थिंक डिपेंडिंग ऑन द कंपनी दैट यूर अप्लाइंग टू, one or two projects related to what they do. So if they are working in AI, you might want to have a few projects that are catered more towards AI. Backend की तरफ ज्यादा काम है. So if you have a few backend related projects, you might want to place them at the top of the list more. और जो front end heavy है या फिर those are that are related to AML can take a back seat. Or if you're falling short of space now, just remove them. तो JD के हिसाब से, job description के हिसाब से, tailoring the resume is very important. So you can do that. And achievements में अभी मेरे ज्यादा नहीं थे तो 3 डाल दिए मैंने. Again, achievements you can add. If you have won prizes and hackathons and all, that's very prestigious. Do highlight that because companies also look for hackathon achievements and everything. So achievement तो बहुत important है. उसके बाद certifications आता है. Certifications में ना ये मेरा the thing is certifications only count if you have a licensed copy. Like AWS का अगर certification हो या फिर कोई से certifications that hold value are usually the ones that are licensed, right? So Infosys Springboard pe I've done a couple of courses and I've gotten achieve like certificates. So इसलिए वो add किया है. And whenever I'm applying to companies, they can also pass my resume using ATS. So these kind of keywords also get passed. But if you don't have any certifications, again, it's completely okay if you skip that section. Extracurricular activities, also some companies are purposely on lookout for these sections. Depending on what a company is looking out for JD के हिसाब से, you can add more also. Extracurricular activities में अगर आपने, if you won a medal in say badminton or swimming, all of these are very prestigious achievement, and please make sure that if it's possible, if you have space, please do add it there, because it makes your CV stand out amongst the hundreds and thousands of CVs that the company has. Among the masses ये बहुत चीजें important होती हैं. So I think it's very good to list extracurricular activities if you have space, for sure. If you don't, and the achievement is significant, please make sure that you have it in there, and instead of something that's redundant or something that's not related to that job description, you can remove that. यहाँ पे if you see, I have a link option here. यहाँ पे close CV में when you're adding projects, right? So if I have Pathfinder, यहाँ पे मैंने डिस्क्रिप्शन वगैरह डाला है, यहाँ पे लिंक का ऑप्शन होता है. सो इफ योर प्रोजेक्ट इज लाइव, राइट, सो लाइक आई सेड द गिटहब पेजेस वाला चीज, या यू हैव लिंक्ड इट, फ्रंट एंड को बैक एंड से लिंक करा है, ऑल ऑफ दैट, that makes up a live website, right? When you link your backend to a front end, even if your site is not dynamic, not static because it has a backend, now it's active via this link. So I can add that link over here and I can click on the tick. तो अभी यहाँ पे आपको दिखेगा, if I click on this link on my soft copy, resume का soft copy, I will be redirected to that, basically the game. So for example, ये game का project है तो वो game का project खुल जाएगा. Soft copy में it works wonders. Hard copy में it just like it has no use ना, because link click नहीं कर पाओगे आप. But then again experience में full stack developer तो वो site खुल जाएगी. AML intern का तो वो GitHub की link कहीं पे भी you can add. Either if also हाँ, if you don't have like a live website ना, you can also add the GitHub repo का link जहाँ पे आपने वो प्रोजेक्ट अपलोड किया. अभी मैंने जैसे बोला कि आप repo पे अपलोड करोगे प्रोजेक्ट, so you can just save the project link. You can open the project description and you can add the link here. So when people view your resume soft copy वाला, they can click on that and they can actually verify. क्योंकि प्रोजेक्ट्स तो मैं 10 लिख पाऊंगी, but what's the proof that ये genuinely मैंने करा है? So recruiters before they actually interview you, they can actually go through this कि यार ये कैसे किया है, क्या किया है, and they can also quiz you on this. So make sure that whatever you're adding on your resume is completely true and you will be able to answer questions on the basis of that. क्योंकि वो ग्रिल करते हैं इंटरव्यू के टाइम पे कि ये कैसे किया, why not this, why this tech stack, या फिर आपकी गिटहब पे मैंने ये देखा, so what's the reason behind this part. So if you're adding links, make sure that you're able to explain those projects well. And header पे भी I've added email ID, I've added a phone number, my portfolio link, LinkedIn का link, GitHub का link, CodeChef का link, जो भी whatever things that you feel can stand out when it comes to your profile, you can add it there. It's completely fine. And order of these है ना sections, this also matters. I've heard from a few seniors of mine that this order matters. पर मैंने इस order में करा है. You can also like mix and match. मतलब अब मैंने एजुकेशन सेकंड टेस्ट के थर्ड पे डाला है. इफ यू फील कि मेरा एक्सपीरियंस ज्यादा कुछ नहीं है तो वो एक ही है और वो सिग्निफिकेंट नहीं है, तो यू कैन जस्ट मूव इट लोअर. ठीक है, प्रोजेक्ट्स आपके बहुत ज्यादा अच्छे हैं, यू कैन मूव दैट सेक्शन हायर. You can design your resume according to what you feel like, right? So this site is very useful for that, and it also offers you a tour कि आप कैसे करो क्या करो, because since I was new to this website ना, मेरे को भी समझ नहीं आ रहा था क्या करूँ कैसे नहीं. So there are YouTube videos of how to use this Flow CV. Because we are short on time, I don't think I'll be able to explain that to you, but you can also download your latest resume that you have made. I think the non-premium version of this website only allows you one resume, right? सो अनफॉर्चुनेटली अगर आपको ज्यादा रेज्यूमे करने पड़े, मतलब आपको वर्जन्स क्रिएट करने पड़े, यहाँ पे सेव होते हैं. सो व्हाट यू कैन डू इज यू कैन एडिट द सेम रेज्यूमे बाय डूइंग व्हाट आई डिड. अभी देखो यहाँ पे वो आई का सिंबल है ना, आई वाला, दैट हेल्प्स यू हाइड थिंग्स, राइट? सो यू कैन जस्ट टॉगल दिस ऑन एंड ऑफ, sorry, toggle this on and off, and the sections will or the content will change automatically. So if you feel कि यार मेरे को और भी बनाना है, मेरे को इतना मेहनत नहीं करना है, बार बार चेंज करते रहो, is a premium plan for this. I don't know the price and costing because I have the basic one only. It allows you multiple resumes. यहाँ पे add resume अगर मैंने किया तो free plan में they ask you to upgrade discover plan में. हाँ, ठीक है, ठीक है. Fair enough. So if you feel कि I don't want to make edits on the same resume, you can buy like a premium plan. So they allow you more resumes. But the site is really good and I made my resume उसी site से. So मैंने link share की ना. हाँ, yeah. So and if you face any doubts, please let me know also while making resumes or something. But I think हमारा time भी हो गया. Any more questions?
No, got it.
Okay, okay. And if you have any doubts, please feel free to reach out to me. No problem. Uh, okay, I think we are done for this session. Just let sir know. Just a minute. Okay, so I have texted him, and I think he might be a bit busy. Um, but I think we can leave the meet, right? Uh, I think I've called him as well, but I think he's a bit busy.
Okay. And Didi, thank you for the explanation. It was a good explanation and it was good hearing to you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for being so active and listening patiently. So, okay, I think we can leave now. Okay, thank you so much.
Okay. Thank you.